May I put the question this way to you? What were the cultural challenges for adoption and implementation of the technologies at each stage among the workers, middle-level managers, and the top? That could give us some, because you have taken all the technologies, kindly convert it into how you could implement.
Brilliant question. I think the most important thing in all this technology is how it is implemented. Most important. I think technology is available, how it is implemented from in the shop floor. I'll try to talk from how it has been done here, because in our factory we started from SPMs, simple purpose, special purpose machines, CNC machines, then went through different stages, because I was an Indian company, and finance is very prudent. We need to really make effective use of all the finances what we have. So what change we made is co-creation of everything, involvement of the operators, because we find who is the customer for us. Because not the final person who pays for the vehicle is the customer, but the first customer is an operator who tries to bring the designs, follow the process, and deliver the product continuously day in, day out. So he is the first customer. So we started co-creation along with him. How? We started asking what are the pain points. I think morning we discussed about what are the pain points. Where are areas where it can be implemented, which will give benefit for him, including the designer, for example. Okay, so operator meaning including designer, including the engineer in our cases. So we try to co-create along with them.
Right.
Work along with them. See, in our case, if you come to our factory, we do changes in our layout on Sunday. The operators participate in that. And Monday morning, he will not be in the same line, because he would have changed the productivity and improved, thinking that only one person is required instead of 3 persons. But he is sure that he is being taken care of in the different areas.
Nice.
Work along with him. That is first. Second is on the knowledge level. We send almost some 350 engineers to outside for the education, IISc, IIT, outside India. Continuous education is important. That will mean that, okay, when they come back, they have to give a bond which can retain, but retention of our people. So it is at second level. Third is we have formed SIT and CFT, cross-functional teams, at the top level. Top level cannot be given only direction. How they can also involve in our cases. That's why I said energy and empathy in our case. So it is a practical this thing. However, there are challenges. The challenges in terms of the speed, because top management always wants to be done immediately. And how to have involved work, success begets success. That's the way we have gone into thing, co-creation, working along with the thing, and continuous education, sponsoring to different programs, bringing to different areas of application, working with the startups to come into a factory and working along with the factory. Many startups inside the factory itself, machine building area where we build the machine ourselves instead of ordering the machines outside. Lot of continuous small initiatives. I'm not saying all are big. No, I'm not talking technology here. I'm talking about application of technology in an area where it can be seen as a benefit for the operator and for the business, including the design of scooty, for example.
Right.
Scooty is a revolution change which came in. It developed by our engineer by going into the customer, going to college students, what are the problems they have, and scooty was developed for the college girls. Our moped, for example, it can carry huge load, including for the villagers, including for our, and including the style in which. Today our three-wheeler is the best in the hospitals because pregnant women want to have suspension better. I'm just saying, go to the customer. That's why I put in my slide, customer is a major focus. Outside customer, inside customer, co-creation along with the customer. Whether it's the product who buys the product or the engineer who makes the product.
Lovely.
So that's the area where you thought. I hope.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Just a second question, if you could kindly address it briefly. You talked of all your modernization, but integrated two interesting things. One is tattva as a philosophy, pancha bhuta, integration of that. And also you talked about AI topology. Quote unquote, this is very costly perceived and this is also costly. How do you get it in optimally and get value out of it?
Absolutely. I think it's an inbuilt work which you try to do. We believe in CSR in a major way, and whatever we do in our factory, we try to bring culture into our picture. Culture in terms of respect for what we do, respect for the machine, respect for people, respect for the environment which we are working. That concept we took. And he said, anything which you do, talk in terms of tattvas, in terms of how much water saving, how much of energy saving, how much of this thing, and link with AI. How? Putting sensors in every area. Sensors in the air input to a machine. Sensors in the power generation to a machine. And we found that huge waste is happening in our country. So we found that the benefit of elimination of waste for TPM, TQM, and Japanese really enjoyed working with us because we said we are going to the crux of tattvas in our case. And
What can be seen, what can be measured can be improved.
Yes, and I strongly believe in our area of GDP growth, our culture will be a differentiator for India to be the great in next few years to come. I feel that's very strong in our case, and I feel it will happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Govind, I think I'll come to you in the same order in which we took presentation. You talked, you talked of what the world is going to be from today through to next decade and next 50 years in terms of sustainability challenges for aviation and defense. How do you're seeing the impact on India? How do you see the opportunities for Indian companies to participate in this MNC movement, technology movement that Honeywell and other giants are leading? What is the opportunity for MSMEs, technocrats, entrepreneurs in the identified lines?
Yeah, a great question. There is an immense opportunity. And when I say, for example, sustainability, then electrification. And then electrification, there are systems of like let's say actuator, electromagnetic actuator, or you are looking at a vapor compression system. Each of these systems, there are components like motors.
Right.
Then you're talking about the ethanol thing. So the motor component design has to be high power density. So that particular co-innovation or opportunity can be at that level, component level, because you can't solve everything. Let the MNCs be the system leaders. But you can come up with a very indigenized solution and you can be leader in that. I think Sujay Madam, we work closely with them, but
okay.
Nicely on the motor side, like we are working on, let's example is copper. Copper can go up to 240 degrees centigrade.
Right.
But Honeywell has developed up to 700 degrees centigrade.
Wow.
So now just by changing the copper and its insulation, I'm now creating a different industry. So at that level, you have opportunity. Second thing is on the problem statements, like obviously the areas of agility, right? Some of the MNCs may not take every problem because they need a big market.
Right.
And there will be a gray areas in between, which are also very savvy from the business case.
Right.
But they may not take because the appetite for them is to take like $1 billion, like very high. But the sandwich in between, that's white space also can be a good opportunity for the Indian thing. And third important thing is, I suggest look at the next horizon technologies, next horizon products coming into the market. And what are they lacking? Or listen to these MNCs. Hey, like from Honeywell side, we say, hey, we're looking at, let's say, coatings. We're looking at some materials. We're looking at listen to them and try to have a co-innovate around that. I see that as also an opportunity.
Lovely.
Thanks.
I think what we will do, Govindji, is we'll invite Honeywell team to specifically come to Electronic City because we have carbon nanofiber startups, we have BLDC motor specialized companies, we have sensors companies, we have avionics companies, and we have drone companies. I think we'll invite you specifically to come and talk. We would like to exchange further.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Okay, Ravi, your presentation, you were honest to say it is the GPT that did it for you. It brilliantly mapped the technology trends, but in terms of where are we now, sort of did not get captured. Can you throw some light on adaptation and usage of the technology? And since in each of the things you said, the business model is adaptation, and hence, if it's a business model, there are opportunities for all. What would those be?
Yeah. I hope this is on. Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, big adoption of EVs right now. Cars are still a small number in terms of the number of cars being sold, not even reached 1 million in terms of numbers or number of cars we sell. But this year has been phenomenal. Every car OEM is launching a new car.
Right.
Even as we talked last week, 3 cars got launched, including Tesla. You might have announced, you might have seen Kia, Tata Harrier got launched, all 3 of them in 1 week. So a lot of vehicles coming in. I always go back to late 90s and say this is a phenomenon which happened in telecom. When the phones were very expensive, the calls were 60 rupees, 40 rupees incoming, outgoing. But once some regulations changed and more phone models came in, Nokia 3310 was a revelation because the phones became more affordable. The moment you had more models, people started buying phones and said, where is the network? Because if you remember, we all searched for a network, moving around in a hall, so where is the network? And then the telco companies had very clear requirement that people are buying phones, you need towers. It's a very similar thing here. The more cars get sold, more vehicles get sold, the energy companies have a motivation to install. Right now, India has close to 20,000 fast chargers and 20,000 fast chargers where their utilization is sub 2%.
Right.
That is, you install, hoping that you make money, but only 2% of the time it's being utilized. So, though from a car point of view also, there is a 1:250 cars ratio at this moment for public charging. Expected is 1:6. So, which means India needs close to 500,000 charger in the next 5 years. Cars will increase in number. Two-wheelers, we will be probably the world's largest market of EVs in the next 5 years. I mean, we're already big, we will be the largest market. So, a lot of equipment, infrastructure and vehicles coming on the ground, but not at the pace we thought it would happen by 2025.
Right.
But I think next 5 years it's going to change.
Okay.
But having said this, Indian companies are now doing global work. I mean, in a sense, a lot of innovation from India. There are a lot of, on the charger side, a lot of hardware vendors in India, selling in India, outside India. I mean, we are more digital players. We're in India, we are in 25 other countries. So I think a lot of innovation is happening in India, which seems to work very everywhere else, which also gives us a lot of confidence to say that the problems we solve in India make it actually a universal product, because if we can make it work in India, it can work anywhere else. So that's the philosophy we use.
Lovely, thanks a lot. What I would say is, we at Electronic City, ELCIA as a township authority, we are an incredibly progressive and forward thinking. So possibly we'll invite you to see what further we could do.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to my ELCIA colleagues also. Thank you. Professor Sukan, thank you, sir. You talked about the enormous opportunities out of the FBG, fiber optic cables. Is it from lab to make it TRL2 to say TRL9 is a long, long haul. So even there are several entrepreneurs who will be keen on co-working with you, and as you mentioned, we're in the process of setting up a center of excellence for sensors. We would love to take it up. How do we, how do we get the ecosystem in terms of funding interested youngsters and such faculty to be involved, apart from the industry, sir? Your thoughts on it?
See, if you look at the actual TRL level, as you are rightly said, we are somewhere in TRL level 2 or 3.
Correct.
In terms of implementation or deployment of the sensors in the field. But this requires many more iterations to bring it to the level the industry needs.
Yeah.
So there are avenues both from the governmental resources as well as from associations like what you are planning.
Yeah.
See, what we can really do is, especially in the area of fiber optic sensing domain,
Right.
the opportunities are enormous.
Right.
Whereas we are restricted by the facilities where the industries need certain facilities during the development. So there should be a very tight handholding and association with institutions like ours and industrial, those who want to start up. So what we can do is we can work together in the enhancement of TRL.
Right.
So the center which we are talking about is precisely what
For that.
we are looking at that.
Right.
So there are various types of sensors which are being developed. Take in IISc, in Sense department, in our department, in IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, and so on. So many of them does not come to the light. So technology-wise, they are equivalent, or they are equal to better than anything which is available in the market.
Very true.
But the very fact that it has not gone through the evolution cycle, and to make it foolproof in terms of field deployment and very repetitive performance and so on. So what we can do is, if somebody is interested, we can work together. And through either a government agencies or even private agencies, we can see whether we will be able to help them to develop.
Lovely, sir. Because there is one startup which is wanting to work on a fiber optic gyroscopes for satellites. I mean, it becomes such a miniaturized product, and with a double redundancy it can be.
Yes.
So again, since due to paucity of time, it will be a fantastic thing to continue with the panelists with the due permission from all the panelists. I thank you all. Please join me in applauding our wonderful panelists. Thanks a lot.